HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
And by Webster First Federal Credit Union, providing financial products with attentive customer service to the local families and businesses of Hopkinton. Visit us at websterfirst.com. Hello and welcome to HCAM News. Tom Nappy at the anchor desk to fill you in with what's happening in town. On this edition of HCAM News, you'll meet this week's Bay Path Humane Society Pet of the Week, Cherry. Voting machines were tested at Hopkinton Town Hall in preparation for the upcoming state primary election. Book author Kevin Gardner spoke all about stone walls in New England at the Hopkinton Public Library. And we have scenes from the K-9 show during the Hopkinton Police National Night Out event. But first, here are some happenings in town you should know about. Samantha Rose from the Jimmy Fund stopped by Weston Nurseries with a nice big check featuring the over $92,000 earned by Weston Nurseries towards the Jimmy Fund walk to benefit the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
Well, today we're generating a little recognition for our Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue event. We're going to have our second annual Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue on September 8th. Right here where we're standing, this is a 10,000 acre, we call it the Coliseum, lawn area, park-like setting where we're going to have a band set up. 4 bands actually throughout the day. It goes from 11:30 to 7 on Saturday, September 8th. We'll have food trucks, including barbecue, of course, but also sandwiches, and Snappy Dogs will be here, and Ullman's Ice Cream from Westboro, very popular destination around here. They're going to be here as well. And then, of course, the craft breweries. We have a one-day liquor permit to serve beer and wine, and we're going to have Jack's Abbey, we're going to have Start Line, and Marty's is bringing a bunch of craft brewers in from the area. Rachel from Marty's was really aggressive in reaching out, so she's participating as well. Last year we had about 900 people show up. We expect more than that as long as the weather's good. And even if it's not come down, we'll have a 40 by 60 foot tent. You can watch the band, you can participate with lawn games. Kids are welcome. Lots of kids showed up last year. So it's $10 to purchase a ticket and $15 the day of. Food is sold and beer is sold food is sold a la carte up to the food trucks, and beer tickets are $5 a piece, which is a good deal because it's really good beer. And last year, like I say, we had 900 people and we raised $5,000 for our Jimmy Fund Walk team, and we expect to do better than that as long as the weather's good this year.
And can you talk about what the Jimmy Fund Walk is for those that don't know?
Yep, so the Boston Marathon Jimmy Fund Walk is taking place Sunday, September 23rd, and all the money raised goes to Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, the research and patient care that happens there. And on walk day, you can choose from 4 different routes. So you can do the full 26.2 marathon route that starts in Hopkinton. You can do the half marathon route that starts in Wellesley, the 10K route that starts in Newton, and then we also have a 5K option that starts at Dana-Farber, and it all ends at Copley in Boston. And there's food trucks, there's massage tents, so for those people that walk 26.2 miles, they can kind of unwind. And it's really just a time for people to kind of celebrate their accomplishments, celebrate their loved ones, and just come together at the end of the day of, walking miles and miles to benefit Dana-Farber.
And I've walked it, my wife's walked it for I think 18 years, and I've walked it 15 years, the whole route, and we love it. It is so rewarding. One of the best parts is you talk to so many people along the way, not only with our own team, but other people who are walking for other teams and different causes. And you really don't have that kind of conversational time many instances in life where you can talk to people for a 2-mile stretch of the walk, and it's really interesting getting to know people that way too.
Yeah, there's friends, families, different businesses and companies around Boston that all kind of get together for this one day.
And this is making a big difference. Next to your Pan Mass Challenge, this is the biggest fundraiser for the Jimmy Fund.
So yeah, this is the single largest walk in the nation. So we raised, last year we raised more than $8.7 million for Dana-Farber, and we're just kind of hoping to exceed that again this year. As a whole, we've raised more than $128 million for Dana-Farber since 1989.
So anyway, that's what it's all about. Thank you, Samantha. And please join us on September 8th for our Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue, second annual. We plan on doing it every year. Samantha will be here too, so you can learn more about the Jimmy Fund. But there's a lot of food, fun, and beverages to go along with the day. So it was a blast last year, and I think we're going to get a lot more turnout this year.
And Peter, I understand you raised just over $92,000. What's your goal for this upcoming?
Well, here's our little check. Yeah, big check. But yeah, we raised $28,000 just last year alone. So our goal is 25. Trying to keep it modest this year. But if we can do 28 again this year, that would be great.
And get them to over the $100,000 mark cumulatively.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, we really believe in this this charitable organization. They just about 100% goes to
86
the
cents to the
research and
dollar.
families. 86 cents to the dollar, which is very high.
Yeah, that's great.
So very well run organization. So we're behind it 100%.
That's terrific. All right, well, we look forward to the event on September 8th.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.
Last week, the voting machines were tested at Hopkinton Town Hall in preparation for the upcoming state primary election. The election is set to take place on Tuesday, September 4th. This past week, the ballot machines were tested at Hopkinton Town Hall for the upcoming state primary election.
So yeah, we're actually just currently testing all of the equipment that we're going to be using on Election Day. That way we can ensure that all of the equipment is accurately programmed so that it's reading all of the ballots correctly. So what we did was we marked all of the ballots and made a tally sheet of how we marked them. And then we check that against the receipts the machines print out to ensure that they're accurate.
And typically, about how long does this process take?
It can take up to a couple hours. We need to do the process for each machine twice because each machine has both its own assigned memory card along with a spare memory card. So we have to test the spares and then test the original one that will be used on Election Day and lock it into the machine with a seal. So it can take anywhere between 1.5 to 2+ hours sometimes.
And as town clerk, what's your role in this?
It's mostly to observe and just watch with the election equipment itself, because at the end of the day, I'm the one who maintains and keeps it when it's outside of the vault and also when it's not at the election itself. At the election itself, my 2 wardens here will be in charge of the machines, and I'll be more of just an administrative role.
Girl Scout Juliana Lucas was in attendance as she is working on a project to encourage voting in an effort to earn a Girl Scouts Gold Star Award.
Can you talk about what you're doing here today?
Yeah, so I'm working on my Girl Scout Gold Award for my last award for Girl Scouts. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating a project that can be put into the high school curriculum to educate students on the importance of voting and how it works, and also to encourage them to register and actually go out and vote once they're eligible.
And what are some of the things that you're doing as part of this project?
So I'm creating a video/presentation about what it means to vote, how you do it, why it matters, things like that. And I'm going to try and get reps from the state to just say something quick about why it's important or why you should do it. And I'm also going to try and get a place in the school where kids can actually go and register themselves, so that if they want to vote in an upcoming election and they're eligible but not yet registered, they can go there and do that.
And I understand this is for your Gold Award. Can you talk about what the Gold Award is and some of the things that you have to do to get the Gold Award?
Yeah, so the Gold Award is the highest award you can get in Girl Scouts after Bronze and Silver. You have to do 75 hours or more work on your project. So in order to achieve it, I have to work specifically 75 or more hours, like working with people in my community and working to build up my project so it can be approved. It has to impact your community, so it has to impact not just like one part, but like pretty much the whole thing. So the people and the communities within my town, and also it has to be sustainable. So it has to be able to last even when I'm not there or I'm done with my project and it's already in like the curriculum in the school.
Now, is it just this one project that's part of that, or is it multiple things that you're doing?
So it's this presentation and video that I'm going to present to the high school students in the school, but it's also going to be built into the curriculum either in guidance classes or government classes to give the kids a little bit of history and information on what voting actually is, like how you do it, and the impact it makes on the elections.
And what do you think about this process so far?
This is so cool. I'm not eligible to vote, so I don't really know how everything happens, but it's so cool to see behind the scenes, like what it takes to even prepare for an election. I didn't know that they had to do this, and it's just really cool to see the machine in action and how it works, and the end results, how they tally them up and everything like that.
All right, well, you're certainly working on a great project, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
This week's Bay Path Humane Society Pet of the Week is Cherry, a cat who is about 5 years old and very playful.
This is Cherry, and she is an older kitty. We're not really sure how old exactly. It's a little hard when they're adults to figure it out. You look at their teeth. Her teeth look really good, but she also, Cherry, she has hyperthyroid, which means that she has to take a pill every day for the rest of her life. It's pretty easy to give it in a pill pocket or mix it in with wet food. These are pill pockets right here. She's been here quite some time. I think because she is a little older, but she's very friendly. She likes to talk a lot. She has opinions. She wants everybody to hear. She's not so friendly with other cats and not with dogs either. So she really needs to be the only pet in the house. And probably older kids, just because she's a little set in her ways. But we're not really sure. I mean, she's a really great cat. She's just been here for a long time. It might be because she's not in the main cat room that we have, and so she doesn't get as much exposure, but she is really sweet. She does like her treats though. I was trying to play with her, but I put the treats down first, so she's gonna eat those.
Still to come on HCAM News, we have scenes from the K9 show at the Hopkinton Police National Night Out event. You'll learn about Stonewalls in New England, and Matt Clark has our HCAM Insider. A whole lot more ahead. Stay tuned.
HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Golden Pond Assisted Living, honoring resident choice, dignity, and independence. Our health and wellness focus keeps residents active. Golden Pond, state-of-the-art senior housing and healthcare services.
This is Superintendent Carol Kavanaugh, and I'm bringing you important information about new traffic patterns, specifically when dropping off and picking up students at Hopkinton High School. I'm asking for everyone's patience. Essentially, we have 3,000 students and 500 faculty and staff coming and going in a quarter-mile stretch of what is essentially country road. In accordance with the traffic calming initiative in town, we've been working with the engineers from World Tech Associates. We've also been working with the DPW and the Hopkinton Police Department to ensure that students get to and from school safely. We would suggest that you arrive early, and please know that the ultimate goal is to remove cars from Hayden Row Street, taking them off the street and getting them onto our property. If you are coming from the center of town traveling southbound on Hayden Row Street, you may not turn right into the main entrance of the high school. Rather, keep going and turn right into the Hopkins driveway to gain access to the high school. If you are coming from the Milford end of Hayden Row Street, traveling northbound, you must turn left into the main entrance of the driveway. If you look at Hayden Row, you will see it has been architecturally designed that way. There are 2 lanes in front of the high school that allow one to turn left and one to continue on toward the center of town. When you get your child close to the high school, please have him or her ready to get out of the vehicle. If you are dropping off a middle school and a high school student, please drop both students off at the middle school. Now, this is very important information because it's a big change. There is no longer a left-hand turn out of the main entrance of the high school. To turn left, heading toward the center of town, exit from the Hopkins driveway. At the end of the Hopkins driveway, you will again see that there are 2 exit lanes, one that allows you to turn left and one that allows you to turn right. For afternoon pickup, you must queue up on the loop road behind Field 9. You cannot queue up at the start of the Hopkins driveway, as it's a narrow and winding road. Parents should plan to pick their students up in the areas designated and marked for parent pickup on the loop road. We would also advise that if you come after 2 o'clock, you can easily access the parking lot, as the buses have typically left by then. Granted, this is very new, and it may cause some confusion for parents. On the first days of school, there will be officers as well as crossing guards to direct drivers. Please know that we are willing to take feedback from families. We are eager to hear how things go. We would ask you to give us a couple days leeway to make sure that this is all working well. Any feedback that I receive as your superintendent, I will take back to World Tech Engineering, the Department of Public Works, and certainly the Hopkinton Police. Again, we ask for your patience, and we hope everyone has a great start to the school year.
Welcome back to HCAM News. Hopkinton, New Hampshire native and book author Kevin Gardner stopped by the Hopkinton, Massachusetts Public Library to talk all about the art of stone walls in New England. Here's a look.
Well, I'm here today to talk about our wonderful old New England stone walls. I want to say some things to you about where they came from, what their history is, how they are put together, how their styles emerged and changed over time. I'm going to tell you a few things about some of these other books that I brought, because as sad as it is to say, I am not the only person who ever wrote a book about New England stone walls. But I want to begin with a bit of a disclaimer. And that is this. If you happen to be sitting in a place where you can't really see what I am doing on this tabletop while I speak to you, please don't worry about it. It's got nothing at all to do with what I'm talking about. Just trying to keep my hands busy. Because if you could pick a year which we reached a kind of tipping point in this country and began to lose more stone walls than we were gaining, you could do quite a bit worse than fetch up on 1871. By that time, a kind of confluence of events that had been developing throughout the 19th century came to a head, if you will, and put an end to the long era of dry-laid stone wall construction, at least to the era in which it was being pursued on a vernacular basis by ordinary farmers and workers. The factors that went into the end of this era of widespread building of stone walls were many and varied, and many of them had been developing throughout the 19th century. They included things like the death of the sheep industry, which had been such a mainstay for New England farmers for quite a long time before that. They included the Civil War, which took a great many farmers off their land, of course killed off plenty of them in battle, but also, and perhaps more significantly, taught others that in the course of their travels in the Army, that there are places in this country where the topsoil is 6 feet deep, not 6 inches deep, and therefore a great many of them came home just long enough to put their tools and their families in a wagon and head off for Ohio or Missouri or the upper Midwest, or any place where farming did not seem like such an act of desperation or insanity. The result, of course, was that the post-Civil War years saw an enormous amount of out-migration, especially from upland areas of New England's agricultural sector. And in fact, we lost so much population during the latter years of that century that there are towns to this day, and both in Massachusetts and my own state of New Hampshire, which have not yet managed to return to the populations that they had in 1830, which we can regard as kind of a peak year, perhaps the peak year of the small-scale New England agriculture that is now nostalgically referred to as the good old days of New England's farming life. Well, how are these walls put together? There is, for you Star Trek fans, a prime directive in stone wall building. It is this. If you're going to put a dry stone structure together and you would like it to stay together for a while, because contrary to the mythology of New England stone walls, every single one of them falls down sooner or later. So your objective when you build one is to build something that is going to fall down later, not sooner. Do this by following the prime directive, which is to put one stone over 2 or 2 over 1. This formulation is an emblematic rule, not a literal one. In practice, you will find yourself putting 3 over 27, 9 over 8, 10 over 3, etc., any combination you can think of. The point is to avoid stacking stones up directly on top of one another. This is called stack bonding, and the reason it is bad is because it separates the wall into structurally segregated sections that can then come apart much more easily over time. Well, what does that mean? After all, these are stones, right? They don't have legs, they're not trying to get away. Or are they? The fact is that every stone in the world has an ambition. A personal ambition to sink to the center of the earth as soon as possible. It's extraordinarily patient about waiting for an opportunity to fulfill this ambition. And when it gets one, it accepts it immediately. You know, we do have earthquakes in this region from time to time. They're not very spectacular like California standards, but they're enough. Perhaps some of you were old enough to remember the one that we had about, 8 years ago or so. It was over on the border between New Hampshire and Maine, under the town of Sanford. A massive 4.0. We don't usually have earthquakes that big. Most of our earthquakes are like 1.9, 2.3, can't be felt by human beings. But every time one goes across this countryside, every single stone and every wall says, hey, here's my chance. I can get a little closer to the center of the earth. And if there's any space around that stone within the structure that it occupies, it will slip or slide or otherwise contrive to get it into that space and thus move a little closer to the center of the earth. This is why stone walls are like people. They tend to loosen up and spread out as they get older, finally to fall apart completely, in spite of their best efforts to remain intact.
View the full Stone Walls in New England presentation at our YouTube page, youtube.com/HCAMTV. The Middlesex Sheriff's Department were in attendance at this past Hopkinton Police National Night Out event. Officer Pimentel was there to show off his K-9 partner and talk about his duties with the department.
I work for the Middlesex Sheriff's Office K-9 unit. I've been with my department for 13 years, and I have 2 years on K-9 now. This is actually, I believe, my second time coming out here to see you guys, so I appreciate you guys having me out here. My partner is K-9 Pebbles. She's a 4-year-old yellow lab. So her main function with the Sheriff's Office is drug detection. That's her main job. And then we also are cross-trained to do friendly fine tracking. So that's looking for missing children, missing elderly people, the occasional bad guy, depending on the situation, if we don't have a patrol dog in the area or whatnot, and we have to really find that person. But K-9 Pebbles is friendly with people and dogs, so she has no aggression. So I have to be careful when we look for a bad guy. We train every single day. K-9 Pebbles, can anyone tell me we got two rewards for the dogs. Can anyone tell me what that would be? Does anyone know? 2 reward systems. Go ahead. Yeah, all right. What's the next one? Go ahead. Dog food, yes. So we got toy reward, then we got food reward. K-9 Pebbles is a food reward dog, so she has to work every day to be able to eat her food. She doesn't get treats. I have a pouch that I have that I actually put her dog food in. She gets 2.5 cups of food a day. So when you come out, you'll see her. She's lean, she's very short to the ground, and very, very strong. I'm kind of a big guy, and she pulls me all around. That's probably why she's so jacked.
Doesn't it? That's scary, but smaller.
Here.
Yeah, that's dog great. That's Daddy, was that scary when he was there? That's scary. When he was
Now what she's doing is she's putting her nose as close to the source as she can, and then she's getting rewarded on it.
A whole lot of programming is coming up on the HCAM channels. Standing by to tell you all about it is Matt Clark with our HCAM Insider.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the HCAM Insider. I'm Matt Clark, and here's what's happening this week on HCAM. On Friday, August 24th at 5 p.m., local artists and musicians gather to share their poetry and music on a new episode of Wake Up and Smell the Poetry. On Monday, August 27th at 7 p.m., the Hopkinton Planning Board meeting will air live on HCAM TV. On Wednesday, August 29th at 7 p.m., Margie and Lisa are back and invite you to join the conversation on a new episode of The Margie and Lisa Show, live on HCAM TV. And on Thursday, August 30th at 8 p.m., Jumpin' Juba performs in this summer's last edition of Concerts on the Common. And on HCAM Ed, the Ashland Legion Baseball vs. Medford game will air. If you want to know more about all of HCAM shows before they air, then head over to hcam.tv/connect, where you can sign up for our HCAM Insider newsletter. Or if you want to know more about what's happening in Hopkinton, you can sign up for our daily news updates. That's all for this week's Insider. I'm Matt Clark, and as always, thanks for watching. Back to you, Tom.
That will just about do it for this edition of HCAM News. Don't forget, you can stay up to date with everything Hopkinton by checking out our website, hcam.tv, as well as our Twitter and Facebook page. Be sure to head over to our website for the latest happenings in our community and check out the new Hopkinton Community Calendar to take a look at upcoming events in town. If you have a Hopkinton-related video, photo, or story idea, I want to hear from you. Email me at news@hcam.tv. With your help, we'll cover even more of our community. For everyone here at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. We leave you now with the current community listings and upcoming government meetings. As always, thanks for watching HCAM News. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.
She's putting her nose as close to the source as she can, and then she's getting rewarded on it. So when we try to search, like especially with packages, we'll put out a bunch of packages, similar shape, size, and color, so that way we can't say that she just indicated on that box because she likes the color white, or she likes the color yellow, or that package was different than the others. So we try to keep them the same shape, color, and size. So that way it's a fair shot for everyone, and if she finds it, she finds it. You got a tattoo too? Yeah. Oh, nice. I got lots of tattoos.
Yeah, I got a lot of tattoos on his arm.
Yep. What else? Anyone else? No? You?